So, we gotta teach Newton's third law next. I don't have any ideas.
Oh, it's not exactly rocket science. It is rocket science. We could use rockets to teach Newton's third law.
That's a good idea.
One of the very first rocket scientists was Robert Goddard. He's credited with having built some of the very first rockets that run on liquid fuel. From 1926 to 1941, he built a lot of different models of rockets, some achieving altitudes of almost 2 miles. Not everyone was a fan of his work. In 1920, the New York Times criticized him, saying there was no way his rockets could operate in the vacuum of space because there would be nothing for them to push off of. It would not be until nearly 50 years later, when the Apollo 11 mission launched, that the New York Times was forced to print a retraction. In the Rocketry Club, we build models very similar to what Goddard used to make, and they are fueled by solid rocket engines that get inserted into the back end of the model. And then we use an electronic ignition to set them off. Inside the engine are different parts that burn differently for different reasons. Initially, it's burning for thrust. Later, it burns just a smoke trail to help you follow it as it coasts. Finally, the last burn pushes out the parachute that lets it come back down safely. Engines are labeled with a code that tells you how they'll perform. The letter tells you how much fuel is there. The first number, how many newtons of force the engine is pushing with. And the third number, how many seconds there are in the delay before the parachute pops. The rocket is placed on a launch pad in a clear open area, and wires are connected to the engine. A safety key is inserted, and a light bulb comes on to show us that it's connected correctly. After a countdown, we push the button.
3, 2, 1, launch! 1.
Notice how the flames push downward out of the rocket. That never gets old.
Oh, I understand now. It's just like Newton's third law. It says for every action force, there is a reaction force that is equal in size and in the opposite direction. So in this case, the action force seems to be the thrust from the engine of the rocket, and it's propelled back and away from the rocket. The reaction force is equal in newtons to the action force or the thrust, and it goes in the opposite direction, which propels the rocket upwards. Hey, whatever happened to the rocket?
Oh, I'm sure it came down somewhere safe. They always do.
Okay,
I lose a lot of them.
alright. No big deal.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Dang it, Bingaman, again!